is Jackie, and I'm here with Jayson of Coyote Theory. And tomorrow, your EP, Talking to Strangers, will be released. Tell me a little bit about the meaning behind the EP's title.
Yeah, and thank you for having me on here. I'm so excited to talk to you. The EP's title is a funny one because we our debut album was Still, and the whole idea around that was like we're still doing this after all these years. Does it still make sense? And it felt right in the piece we were given. And this one, we're entering a little bit of a new era, and it felt strange. It felt unfamiliar. We didn't know, what the sound was going to be, what the evolution was, and so the idea of strangers and things being strangers came up a lot. And then we just kind of played with a bunch of different versions of it. I think we landed on Talking to Strangers because we love Prince a little bit too much, and there's obviously a nod there in adding that too. And we just stuck with it.
I like that. I wasn't sure if it was a Prince reference. And
I like to think it is. Yeah, I can't confirm nor deny that everybody feels that way, but I definitely feel that way.
That's fair. Who or what inspired the songwriting this time around?
If I said Prince, it would be a very boring interview. It's all over. It's always all over the place with us. But I do think that we really wanted to explore more guitar, oriented rock, kind of straight ahead rock themes. It's always been this weird back and forth with us Coyotes where we play pop music. The Side of Paradise is totally this weird jazzy pop, like infused chaotic thing. But we always have like loved to add in rock and like more kind of like alternative rock, indie rock, all that stuff. To the point where, funnily enough, and very anecdotally, the original bands that we were set out to try to mimic were bands like Circus Survive, Closure in Moscow. And if you listen to any of these bands, Edison Glass is another one. If you listen to any of these bands, they do not sound anything like Coyote Theory. So we wanted to get back to that a little bit and go, well, what does it sound like if we pull some of the piano out or, simplify the piano as a color instrument rather than the main primary focus? And that meant adding guitar in a really interesting way and letting Grayson, our guitar player, really kind of shine and like take the stage on a lot of these newer songs.
Very cool. How is this EP an evolution of your sound since the Color EP back in 2011?
Yeah, well, I think I hit on it a little bit, but we treated these 4 songs as like a tent pole. So we had the album come out, and like I said, the album was very much a amalgamation, our debut, of songs we had never gotten to release and kind of new songs that we put together. And it felt like almost like not a greatest hits, but it felt like an aggregate of where we come from and where we are. And so for this, we were like, what are the tent poles? What are like the 4 tent poles where we could imagine our next record sounding like this? And that's where these 4 songs really came from, is we pulled these out as like, if we had a bunch of songs on a record for Coyote and they sounded anything within the range of these 4 songs, we'd feel pretty proud and we feel pretty like excited to have that. So these 4 songs are representations of those musings and those stylings of how we want the band to kind of sound moving forward.
And how has your sound changed for the positive with your lineup changes?
Yeah, I think we got back to one of the things I love most about our music is there's like a frenetic, kind of a hyperactive energy. When we used to play shows, this would have been before anybody could, easily afford click tracks and backtracks and stuff like that. There was a level of hyperactivity. There was a level of, we played songs a little too fast, but at the same time, it made it fun and it kind of made it what we are. We got back to that a little bit with these, and I'm really excited about that. There's like that little bit of chaotic energy in there that makes you feel excited about the song. It makes you feel like the song isn't just, built inside a computer, but it's like people are really like trying to like knock this thing out together and make something interesting. So I love little mistakes in songs and stuff like that. And we don't necessarily have those, but we're getting back in that direction with this new sound, and I love that.
And what's the one song you would want a new listener who's watching this interview? What's the first one they should pull up to get the best sense of your overall sound?
Oh, overall sound. Okay. I thought you were going to ask me my favorite. I would say
do that too.
I would say overall sound would probably be So Sweet. It is totally a Coyote Theory song through and through. It's very pop-minded, a little bit dancier, kind of a dance pop. Takes you back a little bit to like the 2011 era type songs. And I think we live there a lot. So I would go with that one. I would say start with So Sweet. I would say my favorite, or the one that I would point to people, would be Let Me Down, which would be the one that comes out with the release of the EP. And it's just goes 0 to 60 real fast. It's like listening to like Looney Tunes in like a song form, and I think that's great.
How was that song born? Did it start with a riff, a lyric, the bridge?
It started with a riff and kind of a melodic idea from Grayson. He was just he had like a little riff going, and he was trying to sing really fast with it to keep up with the kind of pacing of it. And then Kyle took it and ran with it. He was like, "This is really interesting. I don't want to like mess up what you're doing. I just want to kind of like take it and run with it more." And it really turned into what it became. But it all started, yeah, with just like a little guitar riff and logic and an idea from Grayson.
So where in the songwriting process do you find the most catharsis? Is it the songwriting, the recording, or the performing?
Um, I feel like I want to say they all have a different set of like a different feeling of catharsis, right? Um, I would say the obviously the act of creating the song is a huge catharsis, because there's so much that you're able to get out. There's so much emotion that's able to flow through, and especially when you're really feeling emotive into the song, and really like often people or our songwriters talk about it like divinely inspiring them, and it comes out of them. If that's the catharsis that I feel, you see a lot, or we see a lot when we're writing. But at the same time, I feel for me like the biggest like release is the actual like giving the songs to other people. That's everything for me. That's the coolest part, is like I often hearken it back to like when a painter paints something. Sure, they're painting their vision, but like as soon as that thing gets mounted on a wall somewhere else, it has 1,000 other meanings. And like oftentimes, same with books, it's like oftentimes people are going to study it, look at it, and make much cooler stories and ideas, and capture different meaning in it that is so cool and beyond anything you can think. And for me, that's the catharsis right there, is like, whoa, like this song inspired that. Like we weren't even near that, like when we were making it. And like you felt that, you gathered that, you emoted that from it. Oh my gosh, that's the win.
I really appreciate that metaphor. Did you feel a certain need or want for a viral moment like you had with This Side of Paradise, or does that put sort of a weird anxiety out
No,
there?
I mean, I think we wish to not have that to some degree. It's not, it's we call it an around the corner problem a lot when we talk about this, which is the virality of This Side of Paradise was cool. It was incredible. It's something you can always point to. It skews the metrics, like it skews like the mental metrics that you play, because you're like, oh, here's the bar. It's like, no, that's not really the bar. That's totally its own separate thing. But we call it like our around the corner problem, where it's like it created this thing where it can, if we're not careful, it can always feel like there's more people around the corner. There's a larger listener base around the corner. There's more success around the corner. And we try to remind ourselves that like it's just cool that we're here and this part of the street, and there are people interested, and like not to worry about the around the corner problem, which would be This Side of Paradise and the crazy numbers that follow that song.
That said, how do you balance, or can you balance your use of social media and being your authentic self when you want to promote new music?
That's becoming the question, right? When we started the Coyote project back in, well, we started in 2010 and really picked it up 2011. Instagram wasn't a thing. TikTok wasn't a thing. Like literally, it was like we're just coming off MySpace into Facebook. Pure Volume was still around. Like it was this time. And so when we came back to all this, this is a whole side of it. Is the social media? It's the marketing angle, and it's a huge part of it. So you have to reconcile with it to some degree. You have to do these things, and it's very interesting. Again, going back to This Side of Paradise. Trends get captured, right? This song, gets picked up in these incredible trends where people are using it for these incredible things. And there's a pressure a little bit to like be like, oh, make that trend and catch it and chase it and make sure people know it's your song. And you do that a little bit, but at the same time, like the cold hard honest truth is I'm in my early 30s. Grayson's in his early 30s. Kyle's in his early 30s. It's not the time to start being a social media influencer. And we have to be very honest with that. So we've had conversations multiple times where we're like, we respect the trend, we love it. It's a trend amongst young 20 somethings. We're not jumping on board. Like, we're going to have to do the big brother thing. We're going to have to like do something else over here that fits where we're at. But we do have to reconcile with it, as does every band. And people find cool ways to do stuff with it. I just saw something from Simple Plan and Bowling for Soup and Taking Back Sunday, or they're doing cool stuff on social media. The Academy is, if you follow them at all, like, they're doing such fun stuff on social media where it's like, okay, they're older, but like it works. So I think we're all reconciling it in different ways.
I think when and especially considering the bands you just mentioned, I think they're actually having fun with it instead of this forced thing of like, let's try to be the most outrageous version of ourselves and see
Yeah.
if that catches fire. No, let's just have fun with this thing, this tool essentially. And if it catches, that's great, but at least we had fun trying to promote ourselves.
I think you're totally right. I think that's like 100% where we're at with it too, is like Grayson was doing song covers and stuff. And it's like, well, we can live where we feel comfortable. It's the moment, to your point, where you feel inauthentic, or you feel like you're doing it to check a box, where it just becomes honestly probably a sense of burnout for a lot of bands.
Speaking of comfort, how far outside of the comfort of the recorded music do you feel you get to do or be when you're playing live? Do you try to stay true to the recording, or do you kind of play around a bit?
I mean, in the past, we're a funky bunch. We haven't gotten to play a show in years, and so when we used to play shows, we very much like to be, not to a clique, but to each other. And it was cooler to us to be in time together, even if that meant we were, rushing and dragging and doing all that stuff, because we are who we are. But we also live in a world where it is really hard to play shows. It's really hard to tour. I mean, you're lucky to break even, and we're definitely not a band that's going out there and making lucrative tours happen. It hasn't become a part of where we're at yet. And for a lot of bands bigger than us or more road worn, they have 5-figure debt coming back to make sure that their crews are paid and everything else. So when we talk about playing live, now we have to talk about click tracks, and we have to talk about backing tracks, and we have to talk about what that looks like, because it costs to bring 3 people extra on the road with us to make the sound what we would want it. It costs to, fly people out. And so it's 3 of us. And so it could be thin with just the 3 of us. So when we've been practicing our live set, we very much have been like, okay, this is going to be new, but we're going to have to think about this in a way that's like, I mean, as a DIY band, it's cost efficient. It makes sense for us to go out there because you want to see fans, but at the same time, you don't want to see fans come home and can't pay rent.
I'm very interested to see, especially in the next year or two, to see where concerts and festivals go sort of financially, and what they're doing to make those shows more accessible to like the average kid.
Yeah. What do you think more are going to close? I know the When We Were Young Fest is postponing this year, and I thought that was interesting. Like,
Oh, I missed that news. Thank you for that little
you're
tidbit.
welcome. No, yeah,
Oh,
they announced they're
no.
postponing, and I wondered, is this going to be indicative of more festivals? Because it made sense as far as a business model, get a bunch of people to fly out to one place and do a couple shows. But if that can't make it, then yeah, something's got to change at the higher level.
Yeah, I think a combination between, the whole Ticketmaster and whatever the other company,
Live Nation.
yeah, Live Nation, thank you. Between that concert monopoly and our already rising gas prices, I tried to book a ticket, in fact, for Bonnaroo for
Yeah,
June, and I was like, the ticket's $200 more. Just on a regular
right.
Tuesday, let me book my flight, and it was like, shit. So I think there's so many avenues that are just kind of adding on to that now.
No, and we even think about it too, because again, we're a very DIY band. Even though we have this success with one song, it's a misnomer to think that one song in this generation can make you lucrative to where you don't need anything else. It's not the case. But we think about this a lot with like VIP and all this other, not gimmicks, but all these other levers that bands have to pull these days to try to make something happen. And you don't judge any of it, because it's what you have to do to be able to pay gas, like you said, or to get, the crew from one place to the other. And we're breaking all that stuff down in our head, trying to figure out the best path forward. But I think all bands are. And it's scary because I want to see my favorite bands play. I want to see us play, and it's crazy to think that Live Nation, Ticketmaster, the contracts they have with these venues is really stifling, like the event of seeing your favorite acts. Like, oh.
I really hope that there's a shift in the next year or two. I don't know what that sort of catalyst is, but I feel like in common sense land, we can't just keep rising prices over and over and over exponentially. Like there's got to
Right.
be something where we're like, you know what, we're not doing this anymore. And whether we're getting rid of like the lights and we're getting rid of the show aspect, I don't know.
Well, that's what the All American Rejects are doing, and I've been following that because I'm keenly interested with their whole backyard thing, and they're starting the app like platform around it for other groups to use. And I just hope something like that isn't Uberified or Lyftified or whatever you want to call it, where it's like it works, but then we're going to find a way for Live Nation to like partner with Airbnb, and then all of a sudden all the venues are owned by conglomerates, and then we've lost the plot again. Yeah, I'm with you because I've been watching that. Like that could be it, but it could get out of hand.
That said, what's up next for Coyote Theory?
Yeah, so writing, like that's where we feel the most comfortable. We love live shows and everything, but we are a little removed from it as far as what we just talked about. And as we figure that out, I mean, writing is where we love to be. It's like writing more songs and more songs. We'd love to get another album out. Like that's kind of our focus on what that direction looks like. So that'll be our immediate future is trying to figure out the next set of songs to put out.
Excellent. Well, stay tuned for much more from Coyote Theory. Talking to Strangers comes out tomorrow.
Yes.
In fact, that is when this video will go live. So be sure to check that out. And this is Jackie. Thanks to Chorus FM and In the Key of Change.